Okay, we are live, and this is going to be a.
We are Hey Hey Sports Chicago, and it was after a tough Bears loss. The Bears are 9-4. I have to step away for a few minutes, and my co-host here is going to start with the whole introduction, and he's going to give you his take on what's going on. But I have to step away. I will return. Trust me. With my synopsis of what happened with the Bear game. But until then, this is Hey Hey Sports on the December 8th, right after the Bears have lost to the Green Bay Packers. So, with that being said, I got to step away for a moment. I shall return.
Thank you. Where do I begin? Ladies and gentlemen, where do I begin? And someone's going to say, I'm sure there's someone out there who could probably be thinking to themselves, oh, well, yeah, Bears lost, but hey, they can think of it as a good loss. No. It's meaningless what the score was. You lost. It's meaningless how and why you lost. You lost. Let's get that out of the way. Let's get that one out of the way. And I'm sorry if my voice isn't very good. Lost it screaming at the television. Very, very sorry. It is now currently the year of 2025. December is here. I have a point to this. Bear with me. Pun not intended. New Year's is going to be here very, very soon. Ushering in a new year, 2026. January, football playoffs, is in the month of January 2026. If the Chicago Bears, who at one point were the number one NFL seed in the NFC Football Conference, and number one in their division, up until recently, and if they lose the remainder of their games and they don't finish this out and they don't make the postseason, they don't make the playoff football tournament, that is a critical error and critical failure forever. That would possibly, as we said on the previous iteration of a prior episode, the other day, it was stated that very well could be the worst Chicago failure in history of Chicago sport probably ever. And considering it's the Bears, it would that alone would catapult it. That alone would raise it through the roof of just sheer terror, horror, and just complete insanity. It has now been 15 years, almost 16 years. 15 seasons, 16 seasons, years, seasons, you get my point. They have not won a playoff game since the 2010-2011 football season. Jay Cutler was a quarterback. They beat and they played, I believe it was a 7-9 or it was a 9-7 Seattle Seahawks team that Matt Hasselbeck was a quarterback of, because the NFC West division that year was so horrible, it was so pathetic, so anemic, that poorly rated, poorly ranked win and loss column team of Seattle that particular year made playoffs. They won that game. Following year, they lost at home to Green Bay. At home, Soldier Field. Conference game. They lost. Jay Cutler gets hurt. Caleb Haney goes in. They lose. Horrible fashion. But anyway, my point being, it's been 15 years removed since the last playoff victory. You have now been 5 head coaches removed from Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith and Mike Ditka, the only two head coaches this program had of true, legitimate caliber after George Halas. That's not even debatable. Not even debatable. So how tone deaf would our current guy and our current regime to have themselves, hyping themselves up in the most ridiculous of ways that not even a college football organization would do. But it's okay because they're selling hot dogs in the city of Chicago. Oh, that's okay. You lost to your arch nemesis. You lost in a critical game. Thank you, by the way. And you know what? I understand that you win games, you lose games. I'm aware of it. But you know what? If the Bears won 10, 11, 12 games every year and then lost in the playoffs, like how the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Baltimore Ravens or the Buffalo Bills do, that would be disappointing, but it would be easier to handle and deal with. The Bears can hardly even make the playoffs, let alone having a winning record, let alone having an above 500 winning percentage. And I said I wasn't going to say them. I'm going to get to my point here. But in the last decade, in the last 15 years, you went from Jay Cutler, who no one, well, I shouldn't say that. However, Jay Cutler was a very divisive figure in the entire fandom. You either loved him or you hated him. Okay, well, he was better than anything you had at the time. Couldn't be more than happy to do away with them. Then they get, not immediately after, but then they got Mitch Trubisky. And again, better than anything that you had. Went to a Pro Bowl, threw 6 touchdowns in a game, had 8 300 passing yard games. He was the only one to make Matthew Nagy's, offensive system work. He also outperformed a Super Bowl MVP in the same offense in Nick Foles in 2020. That's a fact. Oh, but, this is a guy, Mitch Trubisky, got in the playoffs twice, threw him away. Went out and got Justin Fields, who had 60 turnovers in 40 games played. And people wanted to keep him? Why? And if they did, I want to ask to those Bears fans who wanted to maintain Justin Fields and give him another year or possibly $20 million in the way how the New York Jets gave, if that were to happen, would the Bears even be in this critical moment of time? Probably not. Probably not. And this is what it is. The Bears are who I and my co-host unfortunately thought that they were. I didn't really want to believe it. Tried being so optimistic in the ways how I could be. Almost to absurd nature. But once again, when the going gets rough, they don't do anything positive. Once again, you know what? Oh, what was that in 2018 when you had a field goal kicker who couldn't kick a field goal? And you knew that the whole year. And you allowed yourself to be in a moment such as that. Good job. And then you were surprised that you lost because of a missed field goal? Why am I bringing that up? You may be asking. Because, again, you haven't won a playoff game in 15 years. Very little to be positive about. As Ben Johnson said in one of his many press conferences this week, he said, Chicago's hungry for a winner. So am I. I want a winner. Well, I question that. I question your awareness there, Coach Ben Johnson. I don't think you really had your foot on the gas pedal on this one. I really don't think you did. I don't. And you know what? Lovie Smith, again, another divisive individual, both in the NFL and in the Big Ten. And hey, if you're an Illinois Fighting Illini football fan out there, you know what I'm talking about. You know, when he got a champagne, everyone was so excited, but then they didn't really win. I mean, well, they did eventually, but they still fired him unceremoniously, much like how the Chicago Bears did. But you know what? Lovie Smith got results. Lovie Smith could beat Green Bay. Lovie Smith won division games. Lovie Smith won division titles. Lovie Smith won playoff games. Lovie Smith won you the NFC football conference, got you to the Super Bowl, almost got you back, and you fire him after a 10-6 season. And now here we are, 5 coaching regimes removed, and nothing has gotten any better. Only worse. Only far worse. It's been 105 years of NFL football. The Chicago Bears, the C, the you know, as some may say, the Chicago Bear Orange C is in some way the NFL shield. That's how historic it is. So for them to be in the way that they are, the way how ownership has ran them in the ground, the way how general management has ran them in the ground, the way how scouting has ran them in the ground, you know, because you had to go out and get how many free agent offensive linemen that were already questionable as is anyway, and you can't tell me after seeing this game that you really have faith in them. Come on, please, tell me you're not that delusional. Please. Caleb Williams, he's here. He was the number 1 NFL draft choice. Plays quarterback. Chicago Bears quarterback lineage has always been, you know, it's been debatable. It's been questionable. Not necessarily the greatest. Quarterback development. As much as I love Caleb Williams, there's a lot left to improve on him. And again, Ben Johnson falls on you. Again, falls on you. But it's okay because hot dogs are being sold, right? That's okay because, you know, a year ago they were on TV on Hard Knocks on HBO, right? Oh, it's okay because they get social media. Oh, that's okay, right? Lovie Smith won games and you fire him. Mike Ditka saved your football program and you fired him. And if this organization truly had it their way, Lovie Smith and Mike Ditka would have never been Bear coaches at all whatsoever. That's a truth. And that could be a video all on its own accord. But again, this is the Chicago Bears, the monsters of the Midway. Sure they are. You know, I think monsters of the Midway. I think you know, the word monster, I think horror movie. I think the shark from Jaws. I think the xenomorph from Aliens. I have a point to this. I think Michael Myers from the Halloween film series. I think of, you know, intimidating, imposing, physical, spiritual, you know, situations. The Chicago Bears do not create fright and fear in almost anyone that they've played in the last 15 years. It's been a losing culture, losing variety. That's what it's been. Hell, even with Mark Trestman, even with the Mark Trestman era, and that was 2 seasons, only 2 seasons. You go and you look at that roster, they were good. They weren't bad by any stretch of mean. The roster itself, the players that they had, they were not bad at all. A lot of them were Lovie Smith guys. Could have had their chance to hire Bruce Arians, and they chose not to do it. No, let's go out and hire Mark Trestman, who at that point in time had not coached in the NFL for at least 7 years. Good job. And then they wonder why they lose games. I wonder why. How do they even sell tickets? I wonder, how are they even selling out Soldier Field? When I can say wholeheartedly, no one in this fan base is happy at all whatsoever. This is an arranged marriage that I can't get out of. I'm a Bear fan through and through. This is who I am. I can't pick another team. I can't go out and choose another team. Can't do it. I'm here. I am here forever, whether I like it or not. Just because I'm a fan doesn't make me a fanatic. Just because I'm a fan doesn't make me have to agree on every transaction, every draft move, no. When they got, I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but I remember 2 years ago, they got, what was it, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, somewhere around there, they got Chase Claypool, who, on paper, on pure talent alone, good player, but they never had a grown-up in the room. Traded him away. They did everything in their power to get him, and they gave him away for nothing. Again, that was a Ryan Poles decision. One of the many. Ryan Poles, I haven't even said anything about him in the 16 minutes and 39 seconds of me talking right now. Ryan Poles made the comment of we're going to take the North and never take it back. Where are you now? It's been multiple seasons here of this. Nothing has improved. Ryan Pace was a fool, make no mistake, but he got talent and they won games.
I'll have to actually watch this to find out what was said.
Fine, I won't post it then.
No, I was away from here. I don't know what was said, so I have to watch it.
Fine, I won't post it then.
You have to post it. Because I was away. I don't know what was said. Okay? Now I'm back.
Sure.
So, I'm sure there was some critical analysis somewhere along the line about the Bears and the state of the Chicago Bears right now, but they're 9-4, and they were 9-3 a few days ago, and we all sat here, and after they beat Philadelphia, I'm going to watch the networks tomorrow morning because when the Bears were 9-3, all the morning shows were like, do you know who's the number one team in the NFC?
Yeah, but they never took them seriously.
And they would ask the question, do you take the Bears seriously?
Right,
and there were a few who said, let's play this out. Okay? Let's play this out.
I haven't even mentioned the remainder of their games yet.
Okay? Similar to somebody, who wears the hat has been saying since maybe week 3, 4, 5. Let's play it out. Okay? And I've been doing a little bit of homework because right now, Seattle has 10 wins. The Rams were pummeling somebody. They have 10 wins. Green Bay has 9, but they have one less loss. Okay?
Is that because of the tie?
That's because of the tie. And the Niners have 9. So the Bears have slipped from 1 to 5. And as I made that statement the other day, even though the Buccaneers lost, okay, that division is hot garbage. We're not even good. But you know what? Somebody's going to win that division. That means there's 6 other spots because only one team is coming out of that. Okay? And right now, the Panthers and the Bucks, because the Bucks lost to the Saints, But there's only going to be one team out of that. So there are 6 other teams available. I just mentioned 4 teams that are tied or better than the Bears right now in the win column. When I went to school, 4 plus 1 is 5. That means there's 2 spots left. I haven't even talked yet about Philadelphia. I have not even mentioned the Lions. And I have not even mentioned Dallas. Even though Dallas lost the other day to the Lions. But they have to play the Vikings, the Chargers, Washington, who is abysmal now. They're at their 3rd, and the Giants. If they run the table, they're at 10 now. If they go 10 and the Bears go 10, I think head-to-head, the Bears beat the Lions head-to-head, so the Bears would get in. But the Bears got to win a game yet.
Critical game, may I add.
Okay? And
not just one game, they got to win 2.
2 for sure.
Maybe 3.
But that means 2 out of 4. They got to go 500. Now they got to go 500. Now we're talking 2 out of 4 is 500.
Because as I said, they don't finish anything out. Can't have anything nice.
You know, anything less than 500, they're in trouble.
Go buy a hot dog.
Okay. You know.
Go buy a hot dog.
And, you know, we're sitting, and last week, you know, everybody was, you know, not, I can't say, because when you say everybody, that includes me. So not everybody. There was one guy in the cellar here that was telling everybody, slow the roll. I've been telling you to slow the roll for weeks. Okay. Now, once again, I get criticized by when I say that you're not supporting the Bears. I am. I wear the Bear garb. Okay. I wear the Bear garb. Okay? But, you know, next week they play Cleveland, and that should be a lock. Okay? And, you know, before I came down here,
I wouldn't even say that because Shedeur, I know Tennessee's not very good, but Shedeur Sanders played amazing.
You know, and I know the Bears have been running the ball, and the Bears are running the ball, and the Bears are running the ball.
Yeah, they always have.
Okay. So this need for a quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards in a season is hot garbage. Okay? It's hot garbage. And it was a quote, not a quote, it was a statement on a individual, what's the word I'm looking for?
An accolade?
Accolade that the quarterback wanted, and he mentioned that. Why don't he say, I want to get to the Bears to the playoffs? You know what? Because right now,
they might not make the playoffs.
You might not make the playoffs, and you might not get your 4,000 yards.
Well, you're not getting 4,000.
And you might not get your 30 touchdown passes.
See, that's the other thing. After this, you're not getting 4,000.
I haven't done the math because I know you guys always
I am not. I should rephrase. I am not convinced that Caleb Williams will reach 4,000. Specifically, not this season.
And if you can't get 4,000 yards in a 17-game season, and the talk is they may expand the NFL to 18 games. And have one less preseason games. So now 4,000 yards in an 18-game season is even a stat.
That goes back to what I said. In the last 15, 16 years, in the 2014 NFL season with Mark Trestman, look this up. They went 5-11. Jay Cutler was benched in the final game of the year because the great Chicago Bear fan base, who wanted nothing more to throw him out of town. If he never got benched on the final game of the year, the entire 30 touchdown and 4,000 yard passing stat, you never have to hear about it ever again. But no, you had to go bite the hand that fed you. Good job. Thank you.
But, you know, to get back on, to discuss today, you know, there are And then it's going to be, well, they didn't have Roman Doomsday today, which is, and as I think I mentioned in our last telecast that, Williams, Keys, and then there was a couple comments that were like, no, it's all evening out. No, he relies on.
Well, he made some critical plays today. I know I don't want to have to be that guy to give a participation trophy, but he did make some good, throws today.
He made, but you always remember the one you didn't.
Yeah.
And I don't know who made the call at the end of the game for the throw. Okay, first of all, you're rolling left, and you're a right-handed quarterback. So you're throwing against the grain, okay? And the whiz kid coach who's got all of these elaborate plays, okay? You think Vince Lombardi would have pulled? Vince Lombardi's 1,000 years ago, but you know what? I formation, fullback, hand the ball off. You needed 1 yard.
I'll even go a step further, and
I believe it was second. Before that, I sorry to cut you off, but I believe it was 3rd and 1 and then 4th and 1, and they couldn't get a yard on 2 plays.
I'll go a step further. The final play of the game was a game-ending interception. They could have ran. It was a 1 yard. They needed 1 yard, and he was running for his life anyway. Yeah. Why don't you just run the ball with yourself? You were doing that as is anyway. Try to get out of bounds. Or no huddle and try to spike the ball.
And I know a loyal viewer, Jackson, hello, big Packer fan. He's probably smiling and probably gonna look at this and respond. And the guy who said last week that who wrote in, another loyal fan. I like him. I love those guys. And I love their comments. But Caleb Williams, the GOAT. If again, you're 9-4, and you know what now, because they throw, and I don't believe all this analytic stuff and these percentages, but they throw them all the time now. What if so and so loses? Where does that drop you from wherever you were to, what's your odds on getting in now? And that'll be all shown tomorrow morning.
There's going to be a lot of doom and gloom tomorrow. A lot of doom and gloom last 4 games.
Because if Philadelphia wins, well, that's the other thing. If Philadelphia happens to win tomorrow, they go to 9. So they're 9.
Philadelphia can't win tomorrow. Who they play? I mean, they can win tomorrow.
They're playing the Chargers with a broken hand quarterback.
Oh, they're going to win.
For Herbert.
They're going to
okay. win. So if they go to 9, the Niners are at 9, the Bears are at 9.
Bears shot themselves in the foot. This was the best moment of this season anyway.
Because, as I said before, if in 4 weeks they finish 9-8, 9-8, that's better. That's over 500. And you know what? That's 4 games better than what they were last year.
Yeah, but...
And that's progress. That's how some people would define progress. Okay? And it would be first-year coach.
Ooh, I got one for the class. I hate to make this comparison, but if that's what it's going to be, that would be a reverse of what... Didn't Matt Eberflus have them when they were 8-9 1 year, and they had to win a game against Cleveland to make playoffs, and they failed at that? But the concept was, well, they're 8-9, and they were knocking on the door of playoffs, so it was all right anyway. That would be the same thing.
Could that be...
That would be the same thing.
But could that have been the year after he was 11 and whatever? Because his first year he was 11 and whatever and made the playoffs, right?
What do you mean, Matt Eberflus?
Not Nagy. I'm sorry. I stand corrected. Eberflus. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because Matt, they went from Matt to Matt, from Ryan to Ryan. So I mean, you're not that.
And. And then, then the Eberflus, people could say, and he was bad, but they could have said if they didn't lose this game and this game, the Hail Mary and the blocked field goal, they had a blocked field goal.
True.
And, so.
That Hail Mary decimated the team last year.
So the year that he had 5 wins, it could have easily, or, the 7 wins, he could have went to 9, but he's gone, okay? But, and I've said it before, boring works. Hand the ball off. You're 3rd and 1, and then 4th and 1.
Yeah, but you got to make throws when you throw them. That's true. You're not wrong, but you have to make throws when you throw them. And they didn't, and they lost.
But you got the whole Waffle House playbook on 4th and 1, and that's the play you call.
What's the play with the wide receiver? The wide receiver in motion. It's a handoff play. They've done it so many times now.
The jet sweep. Did anybody watch?
That got destroyed. They got blown up in their own backfield.
The bubble screen that they threw that ball to.
He got
to
speared.
DJ Moore several times. Why don't you just sit there and go, let's get rid of that play?
And the Chicago Bears have been running that same play for the last decade, and it never worked. Well, I shouldn't say never worked, but it's failed more than it's ever succeeded.
Well, my reasoning for that is, and the people who are out there, and we get a lot of people who watch our show that are high school football kids and whatever. But that's the mindset. Nagy had all of these plays. This is the mindset: bubble screens, jet sweeps.
And then,
this is the high school's going in spread offense.
And I hate to say it, but then because I as a Bear fan, I hate to bring it up because I'm sick of it too. But then when their entire offense is built around that, and then they sit back and wonder why they never had a 4,000-yard passer, it's because that's the kind of bogus plays you're running.
But I think right now, and you know what? If you look at, if you do follow and watch all of this stuff, there's very limited talk of now the records of Bear quarterbacks this year. There's no talking about it because, as you said, hitting those marks for this year now, for the remainder of this year,
almost impossible.
It's yeah. I mean, he had 20.
I mean, he could get close.
I'm just ballparking. He had 2,700 yards going in today. He had 180. Yeah. So that's 27. Well, let's say 27 and 200. He's 2,900. So he's 1,100 yards away from 4,000.
So he's roughly not even 3,000 yet.
No, and with 4 games to play,
he not getting
so you got to average. No, yeah, before you got to average about 260 yards.
So he's got to get basically up damn near 300 passing yards for the last 4 games of the year.
And
with this offense,
about 280.
Well, but that's close to 300.
Right.
I mean, if you could round up for sake of argument to make it easy.
And you got to play Cleveland's defense. You got to play Green Bay's defense again, which you only scored 185.
And Detroit.
But you know what?
That's
the word and the word was generational quarterback.
Okay, I want that to be an entire episode because when they say generational quarterback, but then they fail to go into history of the past 106 years. So. And because Sid Luckman's a Hall of Famer, Ed Brown was All Pro, Bill Wade won championships, Jim McMahon set college passing records, and he was an amazing quarterback in the NFL.
Because if the Bears happen to finish 9-8 or 10-7, okay, next year, okay, they're not going to have this rinky-dink they're going to play. I don't know what conference. I should look by the time.
They'll play tougher people.
Well, you're going to play a conference next year.
Yeah.
I don't know what conference they're scheduled to play.
They might.
That might already be on. So they're because then everybody plays that conference.
When was the last time they played the?
Because like this year they're playing the what? They're playing the AFC.
It might be the West.
Well, they're playing who this
could-
year? The AFC.
They played the Central,
They're playing the Central. Okay.
and they played the South last year, so
They
might
played
be,
the South last year.
It might be the West because they played the Patriots last year.
So they did play
They played the
Buffalo Patriots.
They played the Patriots in a crossover. I don't know if they played that entire division, but I know they played Houston last year, and they're in the AFC South. So they
So what-
I think
No,
it's-
they played the West last year.
no they played the West League 2 years ago.
Denver Chargers.
Because Kansas City Chiefs destroyed Justin Fields,
Okay, so
so it might be the West.
or did they play the
Wait.
Jags and the Colts?
Wait, no, I'm sorry. Well, I'm lost on who the next schedule. There's an entire webpage on it called Football Schedules. They have. I gotta
Okay.
look them up.
So they will cross over and play an AFC conference. Okay. Then they're going to play their conference. And then the remainder of their schedule is going to be based on how they finished. So if they played 9-8, if they finished 9-8, they will play other 9-8 or 8-9 teams. So, you might play the Buccaneers on an outside deal. You might end up playing Dallas again on an outside deal. Their schedule is going to be greater. Now, my point after that is, and I don't want to play the what-if game because I always get criticized for that, but let's just say for the sake of argument, the Bears they struggle this year and they don't get in next year. That's 3 years in a row now that they don't get in with the generational quarterback and the whole leadership that's going on.
Yeah.
They blew everything up with Eberflus in a 3-year period of time.
And again, going back to your what if, and I got to get to the point because we're running out of power here. But it's but anyway, 3 year. So you said your 3-year hypothetical.
Well, it would
So
be,
that would be what, going into the following year,
at the conclusion of next year would be 3 years.
So what year of that? So will that be 2027 officially?
That next year is considered the 26th.
That
26
season would
season.
end, but the season
Yeah.
would end in 2027.
Yeah.
So that would be technically 7 years removed from Mitchell Trubisky.
So, and
I also want to address, if that were to happen, that would be a rehash of the 8-year time frame when they never made the playoffs at all.
okay. So, they did not win. Okay. They are 9-4. So when you wake up tomorrow, as of like last week, when we wake up, the Bears were number 1. And after Monday night, they could very well be 5th. One sidebar, and I know we're running out of power, but the Veterans Committee, I believe Hall of Fame inductions is this evening. I got to double check that. And the travesty of all travesties is one could complain. I'm a big Notre Dame fan. They were 10-2. They played an entire Division I schedule. A 3-loss Alabama team who, yes, they went to the SEC championship, but they lost twice to Georgia. But they played University of Louisiana Monroe. They won 73-0 in that game, and then they played Eastern Illinois and they beat them 56-0. And everybody's saying that the strength of schedule because of the SEC, there's a lot of dog teams in the SEC, and then I'm sure SEC people are going to be banging the drum saying they got 5 teams in, and they did get 5. Technically, they got 5 teams in, but 2 of them happen to be Oklahoma, which was, a new addition to the SEC, and Texas A&M, and Notre Dame. I think, as I was scrolling during the Bear game, I believe Notre Dame has already indicated that because of their snub that they've already voted, I think collectively as a team, that they will not attend any bowl game this year. That could all change, but it could be sour grapes at this point. The one thing that I do head-to-head, Miami did beat them head-to-head in the beginning of the year. So, but how Alabama jumped both of them, I have no idea. And I believe, if I read correctly, Music City Bowl I believe it's December 30th. Illinois will play Tennessee in the Music City Bowl in Nashville, Tennessee. So, we will do a pre-Bear game hype for next week. We'll probably talk about the Hall of Fame inductees. Bears are 9-4.
Go
Hey.
buy a hot dog.
Hey, that's better than 4-9.
Go buy a hot dog.
Okay. So with that being said, please look us up and please comment. And we are Hey Hey Sports Chicago, and we'll see you middle of the week. Bye bye.